We spend so much time thinking about what's wrong with our lives, what we don't have, where we should be, what could be better. But what if the secret to feeling happier wasn't about changing your life, but changing the way you see it? Let's talk about it. Greetings and salutations, fellow human beings, and welcome back to Luke on Life, a channel where the sole purpose is helping you. Here we discuss matters of self-improvement, of motivation, resilience, and good old-fashioned life advice. And today, we're talking about perspective. Now, often how we see things, how we perceive them, how we interpret them, go a long way to shaping our worldview, our outlook, and ultimately our reality. So many of us review our lives, our situations, our circumstances, and we bemoan our luck. We start cursing the world, the fates, the universe, even God. And we end up getting down in the dumps, often for really silly, really trivial matters. Maybe we're just not getting the break that we think we deserve at work. Maybe we're having troubles in our relationships. Maybe we're just fed up of the miserable weather. There are so many things in life that bring us down, that cause us discomfort, misery, upset. Or worse, they cause us to become depressed and riddled with anxiety. But as I mentioned in my first YouTube video posted a couple of weeks ago, there is an element of choice in virtually all that we do. So, can we view life through a different lens? The answer is yes. Now, before I go any further, I'm not going to sit here and oversimplify how hard and how difficult, how taxing and tiresome life can be, even for the more blessed amongst us. As I've discussed before, life is difficult, and matters such as depression and anxiety are not trivial, not in the slightest. And I know that it's completely normal and natural to become annoyed, frustrated, downright pissed off with all kinds of things that happen in our daily lives. But what I want to do today is, as I've said, encourage you to look at life through a different lens. I want you to shift your perspective. And before we go any further, I would ask you and encourage you to stick around until the end of the video, because I'm going to tell you a fact that will quite simply blow your mind. Now, a lot of you out there will have a home to go home to and a bed to crawl into at night. You might even be so lucky as to have clean running water and be able to heat your homes. You might even feel peckish throughout the day and venture to your refrigerator and find food to sustain you. Honestly, these simple creature comforts should not be overlooked. Their significance not ignored. Consider for a moment living in a time where these things were simply not readily available, as they aren't in many areas of the world today. Shelter might have been hard to come by, beds, literally a pipe dream. I could go on, but you get the picture. We live in a time of massive abundance, and we take so much of what simply makes the world go round and that which makes our lives more comfortable and livable for granted. If we were to simply pause for a moment and show gratitude for these things, to appreciate their existence and the absence of certain hardships, we might be able to see life a little more differently, a little more positively. I'd like to ask you a question. If I were to ask you what it is in your life that you hold most dear, what it is that you're most thankful for, what would your answer be? Some of you might say your job, some of you might say your home or your car, and many amongst you would probably say your loved ones. Now, these are all perfectly fine things to hold dear and to be grateful for, of course, especially loved ones. On that, no one can argue. But I would urge you to consider something else as being something which you should be hugely appreciative of, grateful for, and simply in reverence of. And that is your health. Believe me, it's not lost on me at all that many of us are not well. Virtually all of us suffer from some physical or mental malady or ailment, and that makes life a little bit harder. Many have chronic conditions and suffer every day. And very sadly, there are those amongst us that are terminally ill, which is frankly one of the most tragic things that can happen to any of us, and of course, our loved ones. For anyone out there that might be in this position, please know that I am so very genuinely sorry, and my prayers are with you. But I would ask you and anyone else that shares a sense of hopelessness to watch until the end of this video, in the hope that what I say can help you look upon your situation and your circumstances just a little bit differently. Because we'll be contemplating the gift of our existence and its fleeting, finite nature for us all. It is true to say that most of us enjoy a certain degree of health, a degree of health that doesn't stop us or prohibit us from going about our daily lives, accomplishing tasks, and simply enjoying everything that life has to offer. I need you. I urge you. I encourage you. I ask you, I beg you to understand what a gift and what a blessing this is. Health really and truly is wealth. With health, while there's breath in your body, whilst you have your faculties, your senses, your general abilities, anything is possible. To use a completely overused phrase, the world truly is your oyster. You could quite literally have $100 billion in your bank account, but without health, your ability to enjoy it or simply put it to good use would be severely hampered. And as someone who has faced cancer myself, and as someone who helps those suffering from cancer for a living now, I can tell you, it is truly life's greatest gift. And if you are healthy, I implore you, understand how lucky you are. Cherish your health and all the possibilities that it affords you. And lastly, but certainly not least, I want you to consider the bigger picture. It has been widely reported that the chances of you being here are 1 in 400 trillion. Not billion, not million, trillion. Now, to give that some context, you have more chance of winning the lottery every day for a decade. And you know what? That figure that I just quoted, many believe that that is wildly conservative. Some believe that the odds are much, much, much lower. You know what? You could have been one of 100 billion ants. You could have been a snail. You could have been a fly. You could have been a whale. You could have been a pig. But no, you're a human being. You're you. Essentially, the chances of being you, the member of a race that has written beautiful symphonies, has mastered complex mathematics and quantum physics, a race that has constructed megacities and beautifully intricate churches, a race that has sent satellites into orbit, men to the moon, and a rover on Mars, were essentially zero. That is mind-boggling. That is crazy. That is unbelievable. Just for a second, consider how unlikely your existence was. And then when you're there, for a moment, consider how lucky you are, how fortunate you are to be able to wake up and see and comprehend a beautiful sunrise and write a poem about it, or listen to a song that helps you understand it. This life is wondrous. It is a gift. And if you think that it was completely random, just pure chance, or whether you have faith in a higher power that it was given to you, it is a gift. And you are here for an infinitesimal blip in time. So before you complain about the weather or the traffic, before you moan that you don't have the latest gizmo or gadget, because I get it. I do the same too. I would just suggest that you take a moment, sit back, and as I said, view life through a different lens. Shift your perspective. That any of us had any time here in the first place is truly magical. And I can't help but feel a sense of reverence and appreciation and deep gratitude when I do so. So if you've made it this far, I want to say a massive thank you and suggest that you check out the video on screen now. It's all about love, finding love, the love of your life, dating apps and all that good stuff. Also, if you have enjoyed the video and you fancy seeing some more, I would very much appreciate a like and a subscription. It is, after all, free. But for now, and until next time, I wish you all prosperity, happiness, and health. Bye.